Hi guys, I want to do a quick video today on low back pain. So we're going to go through a few exercises that I think will help with people with niggling, kind of lower back issues. A lot of it is kind of tight hip flexors, weakness in the glutes. Again, not everyone, but it's a very common problem because we spend all day sitting at desks. So I just want to go through a few exercises that are going to help to reduce that pain. So first thing we're going to do, like always I like to do a bit of the soft tissue first, to release off some of that soft tissue before going into stretches, before going into our strength exercises. That's just the way I like to do it. Everyone's different with what they like to do, but that's the order that I like to do it in. Just keeps it nice and logical as well. So, first thing we're going to work on, into the quads, releasing the quads and getting up into the hip flexors. So we're going to come into the foam roller, we're going to lie on the front, and we're going to roll those quads out. So we're just literally rolling up and down the quads, getting nice and high, okay? Getting right up into those hip flexors as well. I can change the angle a little bit, so I can change that angle and really get through the whole of the front of that thigh. Spend about 30 seconds each leg doing that. Then we're going to grab our lacrosse ball or tennis ball. I'm going to work a bit on the glutes, or some of the glutes that tend to get tight and cause a bit of the back pain. So we're going to come down into sitting. We're going to sit on the ball. Okay. Leg over the top, and then we're just going to roll. We're going to find those areas of tension, those areas of a bit of soreness. I'm just going to work on releasing through there. Another great technique you can use is find that area of soreness, stop on that point, and just try and breathe, relax, and reduce the tone in that muscle. So you're thinking about as if your bottom was melting butter and that ball was just sinking in and getting less painful. You're trying to make that connection with the brain to switch off the tone in that muscle. So reduce that tone to that muscle, which again reduces pressure a lot of times on the back. Last one we're going to do with the release is again use our peanut on the thoracic spine. Again, this area can get really tight, stiff because of our posture, and because of that it can impact on the lower spine. So with this one, we're just putting the peanut on the floor, lying on the ground, coming over the top, squeezing our back down towards the floor so that where the peanut is gets that mobilization. Again, I can work through the thoracic spine from the shoulder height down to the lower part of the shoulder blades. So again, working on that, I'd say for about a minute. Then the last couple of things, we're going to do some stretching. So we're going to come up into our hip flexor stretches. So we're in here, then we're going to just hands on the hips, tilting the pelvis, squeezing my bum on the back leg. Okay, so I'm going to get a nice big stretch through the front of my hips. I'm just squeezing that stretch, and then relax. Again, I'll show you from the side. So in here, squeezing this bum. Again, I'm getting this tilt down of the pelvis. It's all about getting that tilt down. Thinking about bucket of water, imagining that your pelvis is a bucket of water and you're tipping water out the back of that bucket. Okay? 30 seconds, relax, change sides and do that 3 times. And then we're going to go into a simple bridge exercise. So, lying onto your back. Okay? Squeezing the bum and lifting the hips off the floor. Okay, so just squeezing, lifting, back down again. You can think about that pelvic tilt again before you lift, so getting that pelvic tilt, squeezing down, squeezing the bum, then lifting the hips, so I really get that glute contraction. And in your brain, think about squeezing the bum the whole time through the motion. If I get any tilt of my back, the pressure is going to go into my back, not into my glutes. That's not what we want. We want to tilt down so that my glutes take all the effort and relax. Again, for that I'd do about 15 repetitions for 3 sets. When that starts to get easy, grab something, grab a weight and put that on your hips. Okay, so dumbbell's perfect, but you can also use a rucksack, you can use anything you want, but trying to increase the strength in those glute muscles. So we're increasing the glute muscle strength, we're releasing off through our hip flexors, we're loosening around the lower spine, and I'm sure if you do that, those niggly back problems are going to feel loads better.